So I'm shorter today. He's taller.
Okay.
Even though I'm older, that happens in everyday life.
I am taller than him, and he's older than me, and I feel really good about that.
That's the only thing.
I'm the tallest one in the family. Oh yeah.
We have some sad news.
I don't know what the sad news was. You explain.
Take it on.
There's no fro anymore.
I don't know how many seasons and how many days of sorrow we have to go through, but the afro is still alive in some ways, but gone in every other way.
It'll come back. It grows. It grows pretty fast, I would say.
But enough sorrow. We are here in honor of, I always say it wrong, Oppenheimer, which only JP has seen. We are going to talk to you about our love for Christopher Nolan movies, with maybe one exception. But let's just talk about Christopher Nolan's career and how much we love his movies. I don't know what we call the Nolan verse.
So his career started in 1989. He made this movie called Tarantella. It's about a suffering of a young man while he's had nightmares about spiders. He started his career very young. Like literally his first movie took him a year to shoot with all his friends and stuff. But he made three movies before Memento came out. And if no one's seen Memento, it's one of the greatest movies that has ever come out. It's just a guy who deals with memory loss and tries to find his wife's murderer. It's so good. It's I think this is when really his career just went boom, and everybody just wanted him. I think it's really good because of a lot of things. You have to pay attention from the beginning of the movie. Like Christopher Nolan is one of those people who if you miss something, you're like the whole movie is just done. A lot of people may feel that. Came out with insomnia. Insomnia. Okay, there we go. This is the English guy over here. And then Cinematic 16, which is just a short film. And then comes out Batman.
So our most exposure to Christopher Nolan awesomeness was with the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
And I think we're just talking about his directorial influence, not necessarily his producing, maybe his writing a little bit, but we're just talking about Christopher Nolan, the creator and director of films. And so when it comes to the Dark Knight trilogy, let us just say maybe there's already been too much said, but it is a masterpiece. Batman Begins, especially The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, are exceptional films.
I just want to say one thing. I remember going with him to the movie theaters to watch Batman Begins. And my obsession about Ra's al Ghul is always pronounced in the movie, just like begun. But at the end of the movie, Commissioner Gordon gives them this Joker from a deck of cards. He's like, "We got this new guy, call himself the Joker," and I looked at him. I was like, "I love Joker," and we could not wait for that movie. Now I don't know if we should go into the.
Well, the only detail that is important is that we were not allowed to watch The Dark Knight until he was 16, which means I had to wait
till he was 17.
Till I was 17.
So we have a lot of
well, the funny part is we saw The Dark Knight Rises before we saw The Dark Knight. And we were very confused, at least in the beginning of the movie. But I will say that the biggest benefit is that it just hyped us more for The Dark Knight, that once we watched it, we could not stop telling everybody that they needed to watch it.
And this guy mastered, okay, it's so funny, because he does a really good impression of Joker. I'm not going to make him do it right now, but it is so good. I mean, in school, he went like he had these like acting classes, and he did them.
Yeah, I personified my own Mark Hamill with my own Heath Ledger, and I mixed them in one of my acting classes, and it was fun. And I will not perform it here.
Now, me, short story. I saw that movie. Bang, bro, like for real. Now, a lot of people did not like this. Just it wasn't good, and I could understand why.
Do you understand them?
No, I don't. I
Oh,
don't.
he does not
I
understand
don't.
why people do not like The Dark Knight Rises.
But I loved it. I remember when they announced the day it would come out. I made my mom wake up really early to go and buy at midnight from Walmart, and I came home and I watched it. And I
Well,
watched.
she came home, woke us up at 3 a.m.
No. I went with her. I remember going to
Oh,
Walmart
you went
looking.
with her, you brought it home, woke me up.
Yeah,
So this is our
and I
second.
tried. I think I tried to make you come watch it with me.
Oh, I did. It was the second time we watched it. Was at 3 o'clock in the morning before we had to go to school.
And so I watched this movie so many times that I got the Bane voice down.
You
If
probably can't do it
I
anymore.
can't do it anymore, I mean, I can try. Let's see. Um, I will show you where I made my home. Your precious armory. Gratefully accept. I can't do it anymore, but there was a time when I was really obsessed with it, and I we're good at like impersonating. When we really practice a voice, like we can do it.
Biggest
So
thing to we love talking about Batman, but we'll talk about Christopher Nolan, the writing with his brother, the cinematography, the directing. I can see why this iteration of Batman is so popular among all types of audiences because it has this Christopher Nolan spin. And if you've watched Christopher Nolan movies as much as we have on repeat, you know what we're talking about. There's this sense of what would you call it? I don't think it's plot. I think it's
you're the English man, the giant vocabulary.
I would say I just want to say that there's a style of storytelling that is so inward. It's so deep. It's not psychological, but it could be close to that. He really gets inside the psyche. Maybe that is psychological of the person. We can be in the shoes of the protagonist and the antagonist. We're like right there, and maybe not using a lot of CGI comes with that, making it as real as possible. But that is just really cool. Taking the concept of reality and making it so close to reality. And I think he did an amazing job in the Dark Knight trilogy in giving us that deep persona of these DC characters.
Yeah. I would like to add these Batman movies is one of the few that I've seen that people in the theaters, well, it's one of the few movies in the theaters that people stood up and clapped for at the end of the movie. Like, I feel like that doesn't happen because I feel like there's this etiquette around going to see movies. But one of those movies people stood up and clapped. So yeah. Next movie we want to briefly talk about is The Prestige. Now, this has Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman. I mean, what a duo. And it's all about real magic. Like, so good. I really can't tell. I can't really say much except that if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. These are it's one of those movies where, because Christopher Nolan has a way of directing, and like I said, if you don't pay attention, you'll miss it. And this was very real magic. So that's all I gotta say.
Well, the only thing I'll say about the Prestige is the humanity and the sadness of the characters. There's not really a happy ending,
But yeah, it's a really good movie.
but it's a really good
I
movie.
mean, it's like
It's a really good movie. But
it's not like you're sad and you didn't like the movie. It's like sad and you're like, oh man, so that was.
there's this epic scene where everything is explained, and Hugh Jackman's character, out of jealousy, out of not being able to win, you see the dark path that he went on.
Mm.
Because when you go down into that eerie basement, oh my gosh. And I don't like scary movies. This was the scariest part of the movie. And we were younger when we watched
yeah,
this one.
Yeah.
And when you're a young kid, you actually think these things are real.
Mhm.
So we just thought, did Hugh Jackman really do that many copies of himself?
It was I mean, I guess this is spoiler free or so.
This is not spoiler free. Spoilers ahead if you haven't seen any.
I won't say the horrid part, but
The horrid.
but like when you try to find a device that can actually teleport you, that's interesting. So that's all I'm gonna say about it.
So flash forward a couple of years later, and our uncle comes to visit us, and he says, "Have you seen Inception?"
No.
And we're going, "What's that?" So he says, "Next time I come over, we're going to watch it." It took convincing of our parents to let us watch this. And then he brought over the movie, put it in. And this, for the longest time, no joke, was JP's favorite movie.
Yeah, for a long time I was like, nothing beats this. But
and we cannot confirm nor deny that we tried to create Inception.
oh yeah, I mean, I went on this whole like journey on astral projection and just like really trying to control my dreams. I would write down my dreams. I was everything that movie talked about, I did. Wow.
I think we almost succeeded in creating a double layer of a dream, but that could just be us dreaming. But who knows?
No, I did it. Now let me explain. Let me explain something really quickly, because I really like dreaming. I don't know, like
you just like sleep.
I love sleep. Yeah, there you go. If I miss it, ooh, I'm hangry, and I'm like sleepy angry. So, anyhow, real quick, it is possible to go in a dream and another dream, and it can be quite scary because there is a point where you think you're not dreaming and you're in the space that you're in your bed and stuff, and these things are happening at like really fast moments, and then you got to snap out of it and you're back in reality. But it's really real. I mean, like when people go into comas and stuff like that and other things, like it's very real. But it was really fun times.
I know this is very much focused on Christopher Nolan, but I can't say more without saying how much we love Hans Zimmer as a composer.
Oh yeah, this.
If you're going to create an epic scene where the dream is crashing down on you, you need Hans Zimmer.
Mm-hmm.
You need Hans Zimmer.
Oh yeah.
I can hear it in my head right now. I'm not really good at editing yet, and I don't have the whole copyright issue thing. So if I could, I would put this in slow motion right now and play that music of Hans Zimmer, just because the music. I feel like this is what Christopher Nolan hears in his head. Boom, 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 boom. I just think that's what he hears in every movie that he makes.
I believe it too. And then Interstellar.
Okay, I think we're gonna get into complete agreement mode here. I think Interstellar is our favorite Christopher Nolan film.
Yes, I would agree with that. I saw it before him. There's a little story there. But don't cry.
I won't cry. I won't cry. I won't cry.
This was during a time too that I was like really like this way into math, way into physics, way into string theory, way into a lot of stuff. I'm always deep in thought and always like thinking, and stuff. Not anymore. I just think about money. But oh man, this movie from beginning to end. Oh, okay.
If not one of the greatest motion pictures ever made.
I was so mad when it didn't make all the. I don't know if Christopher Nolan um is always wanting like an Academy Award. I think honestly, I really feel like he knows that he made a good movie, how the fans react. I don't think he needs any awards. Um, I think he made a lot of people successful like through his movies and stuff. But Matthew McConaughey, just the whole idea about space travel and
Time travel.
time travel.
He just gets to like the real of the real. This is just a lot of directors don't do what Christopher Nolan does. He
Yeah.
like does it's kind of like those good authors that do a lot of research and they put it into their stories. So he must have like studied, maybe he didn't, but it seemed like he studied a lot about space, the future, and put it into an emotional filled awesome movie.
Yeah.
Because you have space, but it's also about family. You have time travel and the things you will do to express yourself through time.
Mind-boggling stuff. Let me just say, like the movie will make your head spinning.
When he says, I'm going to butcher the quote, but he says something along the lines of, "Is it possible, Cooper?" And he's like, "I don't care if it's possible, it's necessary."
Oh, oh man, those lines it's always they're like, oh man, that was such a good quote. Oh, Dunkirk, very historical movie. As all of the Christopher Nolan fans and everybody knows, he's all about realness. So I think he really captures that in the film. Um,
Not my preferred film, but it doesn't take away from it being a good Christopher Nolan film.
yeah. Now, Tenet.
So here's the thing about Tenet. It's very confusing.
You have to be paying attention on this one. It's good.
It's good. It's good. I think let's see what my notes say. Oh, it says I gave it a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. That's all right. It averaged a 7. It averaged a 7 in the audience score.
I think it did that because it was just really confusing. I mean, you really had to pay attention to it's pretty
Well, we also coming back from the pandemic. We also hadn't had a Christopher Nolan movie for like 3 years. So this was like it was like trying to catch up with Christopher Nolan, but we had to go backwards to catch up with Christopher Nolan.
yeah.
But it's not like Inception and Interstellar had a baby. That's not what Tenet is.
Oh, I don't know.
But really interesting concepts.
So we did this video just to talk about in light of his newest work, Oppenheimer. We wanted to kind of do a quick scan through his career and all the movies he's done. No doubt, the new movie, you can just tell his magnificent directing, cinematography skills,
Writing,
casting. I mean, he assembled an arsenal of actors and actresses.
I've only seen 5-minute trailers. He's seen the entire movie.
So no doubt, Cillian Murphy, I think really understood the assignment, because the movie really makes you think about who's in the right, who's in the wrong. you know, in some respects I liked it because I love being on a team, working together, doing a project, and like getting a result and stuff. And that movie,
Science.
science, I like science too. But no doubt, I won't say any more about that movie.
I think the
I'm
only
not
thing
even going to say like you should or should not. But if you are a Christopher Nolan fan, I think you would watch it and stuff. But
I was just gonna say that it took almost 20 years for me to know how to say Killian's name.
yeah, all of us.
I
Still.
called him Chillian.
Peaky Blinders is a great film, a great TV series with him. I think he's one of those actors that can do a lot of things. He can play a villain, he can play the main role. He really knows how to do each of his roles and stuff. Really quick, Oppenheimer is not a historical film. It really focuses on Oppenheimer. There is stuff about the Manhattan Project in World War II, but it's really just focused on him and his life. So take it away.
So this overview has been just to kind of give our 2 cents of why we love Christopher Nolan movies, and by the slim chance that he watches this, we love you, Christopher Nolan.
We look up to you a lot because we really one day we will work on a project together, filming. Alma has some amazing writing skills and directing skills. I'm just gonna be the producer. I'm gonna fund all his projects,
We're not
but
gonna-
I'll do my little 2 cents, 1 cent.
We just want to emulate your great work, sir.
So, good job. I can't wait for the next one.
Whatever that
We're-
is.
We're always ready. You built an awesome community, and we're ready for the next one.
Where are you going to take us next? Where do you think Christopher Nolan's going to take us next? I think that'd be a fun conversation to have.
Yeah. We should make another video probably about what kind of other movie he would tackle. But
if anything else, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, look us up on Instagram, we're Brohood Productions, and TikTok, we're on separate channels there, but you can find us here on our About channel. We do this because we love movies and you love movies. On to the next one.
Bro, hood out.